You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Codland.
Tesla Life. Can you hear me, Patrick?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tesla Life number 412, 21st of May, 2025. Casey's back, Patrick's there, and I'm frozen. So,
no.
But the audio's working, so I'm not going to touch that. So,
All
okay.
right.
It's not a great picture of me, but I will work with it. Okay. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Here we are on the 21st of May, and working our way through May quite quickly, I may add. Time seems to fly when we're doing this show, because every time it's like another week has passed, another week has passed, another week has passed. That's incredible. We are almost into summer, and before we know it, it'll be over. But so that's a note for everyone. Enjoy it while you can, because we're at the beginning. Have a good time, because it'll be gone before you know it.
What happened to my summer?
Exactly.
Casey got a haircut. Looks like you're ready for summer.
Indeed. First one since the Munchkin arrived.
Ah, very good. Casey, can you prepare the first video we're going to show about Optimus? That's the story we're going to start with.
You got to do Casey and Pat's intro here.
Right?
Oh, I am sorry. I'm off base. I'm off base.
Yeah.
Patrick, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, and I love this time of year. I talk about it every year, how it's not so hot that the air conditioner's on, but it's nice and sunny out, so the kilowatt hours are just being cranked onto the grid. It's awesome. I'm having a great time.
You are just the solar guy. You are so happy when it's not too hot and not too cold.
Yes.
Exactly. Also with us as normal, Mr. Casey Green from the Mid-Atlantic. How are you today, sir?
Doing all right. So last time we spoke, the car wasn't charging and at all. And then I just left it plugged in, and we had another power outage, and didn't realize what had happened, except it got really hot in here because, again, my power wall is on my dad's house, so I don't get to enjoy the air conditioner working when the power's out, but I do have batteries and still have gas heat, so that works. But when a few minutes after the power went out and I started to realize it was warm, I got a text from the power company. Usually it's a text in response to me telling them the power's out. And they said, the power's out. I said, oh, that explains it. And then after a while, they said, oh, the power's back on. A tree fell on the line. Oh, that's interesting. Then I got a text from the car. Charging started. What? All right. So we can get where we're going. And it got up to 90%. It went to 17 kilowatts and just held it. So nothing wrong with the onboard charger, and I guess whatever it was mad about on the connection was out of the way. The actual charge looked like a sawtooth, but I guess it was doing maintenance for not having charge for a week or whatever. And then
so you had to take out the power grid to fix your car. Nice.
I'm sure your neighbors are quite happy about that.
Right? So then we took it down to the supercharger and verified that it's still supercharging, which is nice, because it wasn't supercharging either during the start of this. Had our motor had a procedure, and it went successful. She's safe and she's healthy. And
Nice.
then when we came back, they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to give you a car." I was like, "Wait a minute, give me a car. That means I either deal with a rental, which is a bear, or I got to pay you, not you, but I got to pay Uber $500 each way." I said, "Nah, find another way." And so the appointment now, instead of being yesterday, is now in the middle of June. So hopefully they continue to have a loaner, like they don't have something blow up and somebody keeps it or something.
Well, if you don't get a loaner, you get Uber credits, right?
Yeah, they weren't even going to do that. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
plus it would have been like, they would have loved to not do it this time though, because it would have been $500 Uber credits to get back.
Well, I don't know if you get that much in Uber credits, but
yeah, I think you only get 100, or it used to be 200.
Yeah, it used to be 2. They've given me a loaner every time except once, where got $200 in credit.
Yeah. So the last time that I didn't get a loaner or a rental on them, it was $300 in Uber credit, and they've changed it since then. But I wasn't feeling that, and they wouldn't have been feeling that one either. So they're gonna go ahead and make a loaner available, and then we'll find out what happened. And most back on my ring around the charge port, except for just a few. But all the ones that are there are the right color, and they don't have that water drop look to them. So that's
You have to let us know the update.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on to stuff. Certainly like to say hello to the chat room. We've got Lee Moon was joining us. We've got Brian from Futuraza is there. We've got Highlander, and we also have Derek and Budget have joined us as well. So hello to everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
Cool.
And let's get on to the first story, which is about, of course, Optimus, which we talked about last week, I believe, right away as well. But there's been another video that was released on Twitter X today, and this one's exciting, Patrick. I think you'll like it because it's not showing mowing the lawn, but it's doing mowing the lawn type things.
all right.
This is exactly what I said last week they need to do. Sure, the dancing is nice. It gets attention. But let's show it doing some real world stuff. So let's see it.
All right. Do we want audio on or off for this one?
Let's keep it off just in case somebody throws a music track on us.
All right. I don't see a mute button. Well, there should be a mute button on me, but I don't see it. So I'll quickly manhandle the mute button.
Okay.
Oh, good call. Pause. Make it big. There we go.
There we go.
What new tasks?
Is that a trash can?
Taking that to trash. This is one of
my
my
gosh.
North American wheelie bin.
This is one of my chores, so I'm glad it could do that.
American wheelie bin. I don't use those tools on a countertop, but
I do in my garage, just where my chop saw's at.
Ripping paper towels. Look at that.
Yeah.
Cooking
is good.
Okay, that's a bit sloppy. I have to say it's a bit sloppy.
Nice. Yes, this is cool.
Oh, sorting auto parts.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that the cupboard's bare. Yeah.
Go warm up my coffee. This is cool. Oh, what's that purple thing? Yeah. So you can see how it was trained.
Look at that. So
people
do the work. They record it with their VR helmets, and it pulls that into the neural net and allows the system to make those movements into the robot's language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And hopefully it's like you said, neural nets, and it's like, all right, this is a successful. We like this version, but you can figure out how to do it yourself, not just like a rote copy.
Yeah, the stirring's a bit weird, but okay.
Because I didn't see the guy stir that badly.
Right. Yeah. So you don't know if that's the robot getting it wrong or if that was the person who trained it getting it wrong. Whatever. I'm stirring.
And this with the cupboard bare, nothing there. Okay.
Yeah. What was it getting out of the cupboard? Important that it can close privacy screens.
It's like a bow for a party.
Yeah, and more importantly, it looks like it's a soft material, right? So that's a little. I mean, everybody remembers Flufferbot failing to.
Yes.
So you have to have good dexterity to be able to handle something squishy.
Yeah, that's for sure. But no, that's great. Just they must have heard you, Patrick, on the last show, because this is exactly real world stuff that people are going to want this the neural net to tackle first. Is just plain ordinary jobs around the house, around the garage, which of course will not come first. We're going to see more of this most likely on production lines and other things that Tesla owns initially. Mm-hmm. But it's good to see that they're actually testing with some of the stuff in the lab setting and starting to get the neural net ready.
Right. Even if I'm doing a project and it could clean up and put the tools away after, even if it did nothing on the actual project, but just clean up and put away, that would be so valuable. I hate that part.
Right, right. And it would similar to you going to say a new kitchen and working there and then figuring out, oh, where do the pots and pans go after I've cleaned them? Where do the utensils go? It's a different drawer than what I'm used to. Like I can see that being the case with Optimus, having to learn where things go in every setting that it goes to, every new household, every new location. Things to be put away. It's just not as easy as just putting it away. It's knowing where it goes.
Yes.
So that certainly could be something that is going to have to be taught to the robot with individual owners.
Robot.
Right here, he says it learns from the first-person view. That's I mean, it's immediately useful, but I mean, you can like wear like a chin rig or something and teach it. But then later on,
BoringCo wants her own Optimus. She's very excited about the robot.
Yes. And so this next, they're going to expand to third-person view transfer. So they ran a internet video, but also that means that you could show, teach, repeat like we do if they get third person. All right. It's gonna be awesome.
So that gives us some hope as this project is moving along nicely, and being able to see the VR helmets or visors that the people are using. That's kind of interesting too. So they're actually wearing it, doing a task. It's doing some sort of recording of that task, and then the robot is emulating what they see through that viewfinder.
Yeah, I thought they would have to wear more of a suit where it could track all the arm and hand movements and all of that, but I guess not.
Yeah, that is interesting. Why wouldn't they have to have a little bit more like almost like you see those people making CGI movies where the guy dresses up in a green suit and there's golf balls stuck all over him.
So I guess the first trick is learning how to learn.
Yeah,
and then that makes everything else easier.
So that's great. Fun to see, and hopefully we get some more of these videos as we get some improvements, and it figures out how to stir on the stove without starting a grease fire. But you don't want to be that initial guy that says, "Yeah, let's have the robot make French fries with hot oil on the stove." No, just wait a little while. Don't quite start running before you can crawl.
Yes, maybe they should teach it how to use a fire extinguisher before they teach
There you go. Fire safety training, first thing. Yeah.
Like R2-D2, build a little jet in that it can put out fires. Build that into the bot.
I noticed that the light bars were giving statuses. I don't know what the statuses mean, but they all had different statuses during this as well. What I was doing was looking for where you guys said that it was where they had the headgear on it. I'm trying to find that and freeze frame it real quick. Oh wait, there we go. We got one guy here in the front. Let me shrink this back down. There, and then make it bigger. Yes, baby. Yes. I gotta find my mouse.
What robot doing?
What's the robot doing?
The robot doing all the things.
Well, he's doing all the things that they taught him.
He's doing chores.
He's doing chores, exactly.
He's got to do his chores to get his allowance.
Get his electricity allowance.
Yeah, he gets paid in electrons. Yep.
But on back end.
On the back end, robot dance.
What for?
On the back end, charger so we can eat the mom. All right, let's do share screen. I think it's the right one. No, that's Linda. I don't want to share Linda. She's talking corporate stuff. We're sharing one of our goals. That's got to be the right guy. Yep. Share.
He's got too many monitors.
Too many.
Well, two, but one is huge. So we make this bigger, and we can see in the background, on the one that's learning how to clean the shop table, there's a guy in the background with the headset on.
Oh.
And so we can see what type of headset. It looks like just like an Oculus Quest. Just a what have they got off the shelf at the box store?
Very cool.
Yeah. I assume that's because
Yep.
Oculus with Meta and Musk and Zuck.
But they're already they're already well trained with this type of thing. They've been running this lab for quite some time. Remember when they did the CyberCab event? They had a whole bunch of people that were controlling those robots completely virtually through headsets of sorts.
Right. What if it was these headsets?
But at least here now we're actually letting the robot do it based on what it's seeing. But as Patrick mentioned, yeah, it is interesting that the robot, just from the view, can pick up what the hands and feet are doing because it's looking down the person that's doing it, and I guess making sense of where the hands and legs are as it's doing the recording.
I like also that the replays were not in exactly like they didn't just put the robot where these people are. I mean, yes, it was a pot full of toy food that he stirred, and yes, the dishes were unbreakable. But like the microwave was just out and about, and the cabinet. I think the cabinet might have been either a different room or the same one. But like the watering the plants and the cleaning the table, they were different instances. I like that.
Yeah.
Shows that it was somewhat adaptable. Like cleaning this table off, this stainless steel is.
And I gotta believe for this whole thing to be effective that it's going to have to do some interpretation of the videos that it's collected, because moving it into somebody's location, it's going to be a little bit, like I said, a little bit different. It's going to be some things are going to be not in the same places.
Right.
And if it's got a task like I need to water the plants, it needs to find the watering can. It needs to see if it has water in it. It needs to know where the plants are, and it needs to know if there's any issue with getting to the plants. So it's got to be able to learn some of this stuff on the fly. It may know the basic premise. I'm looking for a plant. It's green. It's in a pot. I should be able to find it if I look around. But you're right. It's interesting that it's going to have to actually learn this, recall it, and then iterate on the fly.
So I've got a couple more things I noticed here. The microwave, the close the curtain, open the curtain, and I guess one of the paper towel demos were all near open windows, and demos were nowhere near open windows. Optimus, you can't see the outside world yet. You're not ready.
Well, if it was near an open window, that'd be a drone right there filming Optimus doing whatever.
Right.
The quad squad has caught you, Optimus. What do you have to say to yourself? I'm paying paper towel.
Yeah, Mark, that's the nice thing about neural nets. If you have the proper diversity of training material, it can it's fuzzy logic, right? It's not explicitly programmed. It can only do this one thing in this one situation, but it can have some adaptability.
Nice.
Yeah. That's really interesting, and that of course is what takes the time, right? Like it's quite easy to record something and the robot perform exactly the same thing that it's reviewing, but having that ability to make changes on the fly based on its situation, based on its location, that is where the power of programming comes in, where the system is actually reacting as opposed to just following a set of instructions. Very cool. So let's move on to the next cool subject, and that, of course, is the Boring Company in the Las Vegas Loop. It's been pretty quiet out there. We had seen, I think the last major update was the Boring Company cutting a tunnel down towards the airport, towards the Las Vegas University. It had stopped short of that, but it had come to an area where it was going to be building a station.
They also opened a station and started a community of basically car-less. There were enough car spaces for each residence, and they would live on the loop.
Right. So they built it into a new community that was promoting carless living. because they're on a transit hub.
Yeah, not car free, but just car less.
Yeah, less of cars, not completely void of cars, just
Right.
less of them.
A
Yeah,
car reduced community.
there you go. You knew the word.
Exactly. So it's like if it was like 300 houses or 300 apartments, it would have been like 150 car spaces or even less, but less.
Exactly. And why we've heard a little bit less to this point, apparently, based on this article from Teslarati, is that they and the local fire department have had some issues about permitting stations, underground stations, because, of course, Las Vegas hasn't experienced this yet. The fire department is looking for proper codes to put in place for people to abide by when building an underground station for fire codes. And they were busy trying to figure out what code should be enforced, what code should change based on the location of the station, which of course is underground. And they had not that much experience with it. So there was a bit of a delay. The stations were starting to be built, but in order to get them to be functional, you have to get sign off from the fire department. You have to get a permit, just like you do with everything. And then that has to be inspected and approval has to be given so that it can be open to the public. And of course, it's more stringent when you're opening it to the public as opposed to just a single residence, because now you've got many, many people coming and going from that location as opposed to just a single family. But this is something that the Boring Company and the Las Vegas Fire Department worked on together, trying to figure out what made sense for code changes for these type of structures that they've not experienced before. And the delay makes complete sense because, of course, the both groups were trying to get the best possible permit type situation, and it was slowing them down a little bit because this is new stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, as with all these articles, whenever something comes out about the Boring Company, there's always somebody saying, "Why didn't they just do trains?" And I'm like, "Wow, you just don't get it. This is a point-to-point system, which is going to be much more efficient. It's going to get you where you need to go when you need to get there, not on some schedule like a bus or a train. And it doesn't have to. The train takes so much longer than driving anywhere because you stop at every stop. So I mean, like every half mile, you're stopping to let people on and off. But that's not how it's going to work with the Boring Tunnel. You get in at one station, you get out at the one you want, and it drives right there. I mean, maybe it'll go through another one, but you have your own vehicle. And so you're not stopping at places you don't need to. And as they add more, I mean, it's literally a network effect, right? The more spots they add, the more people can get in, the more places you can go. And it just becomes a better network overall. So this is awesome to see that I'm really surprised that they can that the taxi commission even would allow them to get near the airport. That just seems like where the taxis make their money, and that they wouldn't want anyone to infringe on that.
I wonder what they had to tell them to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's and in Vegas, of course, you think it's a little bit more lawless based on its past history. I'm sure it's not that way today, but you also think of running into the mob, and if you said the wrong thing, you may be buried in a short grave somewhere outside the city. I'm sure that's not the way it is.
Archaeologists are going to find a few bones.
Exactly. I'm sure that's not today, but again, you're right, Patrick. The taxis rule that town. There is a ton of those yellow taxi fleets running around the city constantly. When we were there one time on vacation, we stayed for about 3 days. We were kind of disappointed in the public transit there, like just hopping on a bus and traveling down Fremont Street or to the Fremont Experience. It was troublesome because, of course, there's that many cabs on the road. Like, it's just jammed with cabs. And having something that you could connect to these different venues and sites that is underground and going in a single direction, doesn't have to stop for lights, is going to be a game changer for people traveling around that city for sure.
Yeah, and I was surprised that the Fremont experience isn't near the Strip at all. You can't really easily walk from one to the
That's
other.
right. Yeah, you need a ride to get there because it's a bit of a distance. Yeah.
And I think the monorail's been shut down now, but I'm not sure.
Correct. And they've had multiple monorails too. That's the other crazy thing. Some of the hotels put up their own monorails that would run between 2 or 3 properties. Then they had 2 other monorails, one on each side of the Strip, and they would run crazily through parking lots, twist and turn all over the place, and drop you off at the back of the casino. So you had to walk like 4 football fields to get up towards the front of the casino and onto the Strip. So it was not all that good. Oh, look at that. The baby has grown.
We have a new
huge
guest.
set of ears.
How cute.
Hello. Look at that little cutie.
Wow, they're saying hi to you.
She's going, what's going on? What is happening?
I just want some baby food. I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, stop putting me on camera, Dad. Feed me.
Always with the food.
So with this, I guess, nailing down of permits and what is required for fire safety, they have started again to move forward with the tunneling, getting to new locations, new future stations that are going to be built. And what I found interesting is that they already have 6 tunneling machines in Las Vegas. 3 of them are actually in operation, and the other 3 were waiting to get in line for future tunnels. And of course, maybe this is going to open them up so they can start using all 6. But I didn't think that there was 6 already there. That just seems like a kind of a large number.
Yeah, it does.
6 is like, that's cool because I always thought it was the 1. But what I found more cool is that they've already started running them autonomously. Completely empty.
Yeah.
Except for a guy with a video camera.
Hold on. You're saying the tunnel machines are running empty, or are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that like 2 weeks ago, how they have now had some breakthrough where they don't have to have people in there, and it can move the dirt out, and it can. I don't remember what the acronym was for that type of operation. TINS, something like that. But I don't know if anybody in the chat remembers what it was called.
It was tunneling with nobody in it. Is what it came out to.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Seeing the video, like where it's measuring out and then positioning the walls, and then find out how much the wall pieces weigh, and that it's doing it in the dark with nobody watching. That's really cool.
Right. So it's weird with the Las Vegas Fire Department. They're now holding this up, which means what they didn't have these procedures in place for all the other stations that were built.
Yeah.
What? We'll just wing it.
Yeah, yeah. No one realized they were underground till last week, and then they said, "We really got to figure this out, guys."
And then somebody realized they were cars and thought, well, maybe now that the politics has ended the push for electric cars, they think maybe they'll put gas cars in these tunnels. And
yeah.
Please no.
That would not be an issue at all.
They're not big enough population for a gas car. Yeah. But the other thing that we found out with that is that there are competitors who say that they run empty as well, but they are running remote control, and usually there's somebody there watching, which is not the same as what's going on here. Kind of like FSD versus some of the other stuff we see, the ones that aren't empty. Like this one bounces between the lanes. So that's not the same thing as FSD. This one is taxiing off of the freeway. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a number of different advancements happening. Plans to the Tropicana Loop are advancing, linking the University of Las Vegas to the MGM Grand, also to T-Mobile Arena, Allegiant Stadium, Mandalay Bay, and an upcoming athletics ballpark. Downtown extensions from the convention center to the Strat, the Fremont Experience, and the Circa's garage Mahal are also in the process, the permitting process. So they've got a whole bunch of things now that are started to open up now that they've got this streamlined and understand what it's going to take to put these stations in place and get them open to the public.
Did you say there's a place called Garage Mahal?
I'm sorry. That would be Taj Mahal, would it not?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think like
It does say
museum
garage.
called Garage.
says-
I can't. That would be awesome. Garage Mahal.
Yeah.
Just reading from the where did I see that? Maybe I mixed up two things.
Oh,
No,
and invented something awesome.
It does say Garage Mahal.
Oh, right. I have not seen that.
Now
I'll
that
have
could
to
be a
check it out.
typo, but that's what it says. That's a different kind of experience, the Garage Mahal. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I think Jay Leno owns it or something.
sure. Good call. Good call. So yeah, that's great news. Good to see that they're moving along. Another thing we wanted to touch upon this week is something that Brian from Futuraza, who's in the chat room right now,
On screen too.
he and I talked about it last week, and that was, of course, there had been some concerns about the number of insurance registrations in China for Tesla in May. We had quite a significant drop in the weekly amount. That's how close Tesla's being watched in China, is that they're not even getting this information from Tesla. They're getting it from insurance companies that are required to publish this data about the vehicles that they're driving. So when they go to register that new vehicle, it's being recorded and then shown to the public, and people are collecting that information and analyzing it to see how many new cars are being registered for insurance in those separate provinces. So this is kind of interesting that we had a jump up to just over 11,000 in week 2 of May, whereas in week 1 of May we were about 3,300, I believe. So quite a significant drop in the first week. And of course, Brian had speculated a number of different reasons when we were talking about it during his show. But one of the speculations was maybe they're actually getting an extra boat full, sending them off to export to another country. And with the price of transport dropping, because of course there's less ships being moving around, there's people offering discounts about, hey, you can load my ship up at a discounted rate because I'm not doing anything with it. Maybe Tesla took advantage of that in the month of May and the end of last month. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I was going to suggest, isn't Shanghai an export hub? And it's not near the end of the quarter yet, so what a perfect opportunity to get some cars.
So maybe they nabbed a cheap ship or two, filled them up, and instead of filling demand in China, put them on the ship and said, you know what, we can catch up with the others' demand in locally in the next couple of weeks as we round out the second quarter.
Not to mention they had an inside line on at least one country's tariffs, and so you can kind of thread that needle, and it's not like the Chinese are going to tariff themselves, so you can deliver locally at the end of the quarter as always, and then while all of North America is freaking out, you can then use what we were doing that also destabilized Europe's tariffs and get a whole bunch of cheap shipping. So yeah that makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny. So this is one of the reasons that Tesla doesn't release monthly data. They only release quarterly data, because if you look at too short of a time window, you extrapolate incorrectly. And so when you're getting weekly data, all of a sudden, oh my God, the sky is falling. And no, it's because they made a choice to do something different, or there were other factors that are just going to impact 1 week, but that's not going to impact the big picture. This short-term view that the market has can sometimes be a little nuts.
Yeah. Another point by Brian in the chat indicating that there's also higher margin typically outside of China. So Tesla gets to make a little bit more profit on the one ship from Giga Shanghai to other world ports.
Yeah. Plus, with everybody else doing what they did during the chip shortage, just pulling back reactively rather than strategically, we saw where Toyota, because of Kaizen, knew to keep the chips, and we saw where Tesla wasn't using old chips, so they didn't have to worry about capacity for that. And they were flexible enough to use the new chips that had been opened up because the old chips went offline permanently. They were in a good spot, and we see that same thing happening this time, where now all of a sudden there's all these ships sitting around because everybody with their quarter-to-quarter mindset, it's like, oh, I can't show too many expenses this quarter. They've got a gambler and cash, so
Yeah,
why not take advantage of this buying opportunity and
exactly.
get your stuff staged? And if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of the countries, you don't actually pay till they try to leave customs. So if they just leave them in the port, they can just wait till whatever day the customs are gone, and then not customs are gone, but the tariffs are down, and then all of a sudden you've got 5,000 cars that need to get through customs tonight.
Right. No, so that's great news. Obviously, if they're able, and again, this is a little bit of speculation still, or we're not positive, but seeing the numbers pinball back and forth like that kind of gives you indication that they're shipping them elsewhere to be taken by other countries. So that would be a great situation to have, especially as Patrick says, when the rates are a little bit cheaper to transport them at that time. So makes sense. Next. Oh, yes. What has been a problem with FSD almost universally from its beginning? It has been the driver nag about being the system asking for the human to do something in order for it to believe that you are staring at the road properly. In the beginning, the nag was just the steering wheel. Because there were no eyes on you in the cabin. But go ahead, Casey.
I was just saying that's me with the Legacy. There's no camera.
That's right.
There's a camera, but it's mine.
And then over time, of course, the cameras became active in the cabin, and now they're looking at you. If you're wearing sunglasses, sometimes they were nagging at you. If you were getting, if you weren't just moving quite enough, it wanted you to do something. And at one point, the nag even got a more increasing frequency as there were some complaints happening on FSD. So over time, it's gotten a little bit worse. But Casey, hasn't it changed just in the most recent update?
It has, but also if you were like watching the numpty in your mirror to make sure you didn't need to help the car evade them, you would get a nag for that too. Like, I am looking at the road. This is a part of the road.
It's the road behind me. Yeah.
So in the latest update, they've reduced it some, so it should be more sensible. And then Elon was talking more about people who turn it off to go look at their phone and then turn it back on. So while it's off, they're completely not just less safe than they were based on what we see with the FSD stats during the updates, but also again less safe because now they're distracted driving. So it's another whole level, which I think being able to leave this on as he I don't know that that's actually active yet, being able to do the phone and keep it on, but if they get to that level that he keeps specifying, I think that should help the miles between crashes with autopilot off in Teslas as well, because people aren't crashing with their phones. They'll have FSD on, and that just won't be a crash.
I don't know if you should design a system for people who want to be stupid and look at their phone while they're driving. I mean, what we really need to get to is unsupervised FSD.
Yeah.
Level 5, you can just take a nap in the back, and then fine, use your phone, do whatever you want.
Right.
We're not there yet, and people are abusing this. That's not what it's intended for.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be an active monitoring the road supervisor of this system. And I'm glad they've reduced the nags because they're kind of annoying. And you can usually just fiddle with the volume knob a little to make it go away. But yeah, I don't know, that has not been working for me recently, which is quite annoying because I don't want to have to torque on the steering wheel because that'll often disengage it. And
Yes.
if I'm looking at the road, but for whatever reason, because I have sunglasses or because there's a visor or whatever, and it can't see me, that's annoying when it ignores that I'm telling you by flipping the volume that I have my hand on the wheel.
Right.
Right. My favorite is I'm changing tracks. Oh, torque the wheel. Like, did I not just give you an input
Yeah,
with the wheel?
right. So yeah, I did notice that just to the right of the steering wheel, there's a little green dot, and that little green dot tells you that it can see you and it sees that you're watching the road. So, but don't look at the green dot too long because otherwise you're watching the road and it's gonna not stay green.
So you're trying to figure out if you're still green, and you don't.
Right.
It doesn't want you looking at the green dot.
If you've got another dot next to the green dot, that means your car is listening for emergency vehicles.
That's crazy.
If there's another dot next to your green dot, then it's listening for emergency vehicles. Which is
Right. Yes. Yeah. If you have the external microphone,
Or
but
whatever.
that one's not green. I think it's
Yeah, it's not green.
amber or orange. Something. I don't know.
Orange
Yeah.
or gray. Yeah, something like that. But I agree. Like, I don't mind the idea of keeping it on for somebody who was going to glance at their phone like for 5 seconds or less. But somebody who's going to be like sending a whole message or play a game, then absolutely make them own that stuff.
Like I realize that we are losing in the battle of people's attention for their phones or their driving, which is really unfortunate. That we cannot look away from our phones for the period of time that we're driving. Like it's actually depressing to think that we are so connected to our screens that we cannot even take the proper safety measures in getting ourselves to our destination safely, that we have to respond to a text or we have to see who liked our post. It's ridiculous. And I know we're losing the battle because even here in Ontario, I heard a commercial today from the Waterloo Region Police Association, and they were saying that they were upping the fines on people caught texting and driving. You're not allowed to even glance at your phone in this area of the country when you're driving at all. You're not allowed to do it if you stop at a red light. You are not able to do it at any time. And they're now upping the fines to over $700 for an instance. And points are now being applied to it. So it can affect your insurance rates. So this is something that we're in a losing battle because I just see that it can't seem to stop it. If you go to any corner in North America and look at the vehicles going by, how many people have their phone in their hand, let alone they're doing something with it? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and even if it's not in their hand, it's usually dash mounted right there in their eye line, and then it's going to be really hard to ignore notifications and other things. It's almost like we need an automatic airplane mode just built into the OS where, I've detected that you're moving at vehicle speeds. I'm going to go into airplane mode. And then you can say, no, I'm a passenger, and you can turn it back on if you wanted to. But at least you would then be, actively doing that.
The other part about this weird part is that so many cars today, even the ones that don't want to participate in the OS maker stuff, like Tesla and GM and several others, they have a decent system for the basics of what you might possibly need to do while driving. Like, say you're a courier and you need to know, all right, you've got another order, you need to pull over and deal with it. Okay. It'll come over voice. You can answer over voice. And Uber and Lyft, they have a slight excuse, but then it's just to push the button. And then, as we saw, Tesla has a mode now, and Uber has a mode now where it'll just push it into the car's nav system. So you don't, again, really need to be, other than seeing it in the reflexive touch the button, you don't need to be eyes off for that.
Yeah. No, it's something that I don't know. I just see it escalating. I see people just still not getting the message. So
Yeah.
Like, you don't need the speakerphone. You got Bluetooth. I mean, the Bluetooth sucks on some cars, but
Right, but we still have 40,000 plus people in just the U.S. dying every year. And even though vehicles have gotten safer, drivers have gotten less safe.
Yeah, exactly. And Brian,
really
you're not
love the
helping
phone.
the situation with a comment like that. I just have to say. But it is interesting that that this just continues to be a problem. I like the airplane mode thing, Patrick. Unfortunately, I think everyone would say I'm just a passenger, and it probably would just be negated like that.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you've got yourself in a whole other issue. You say I'm just a passenger. You crashed. You've caused the crash. And now the insurance agencies get to find out yours, theirs. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let the first person who makes that mistake get caught. And everyone else will learn, do not push the I'm not driving while driving button, because the exposure financially, legally, criminally. Ooh, you don't want.
I like Brian's comment. Yeah, missing a notification might be bad, but crashing sucks more.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up at this point in the show. Unless you two have anything else you wanted to interject with what happened to you this week. Is there anything you guys had interest in speaking about?
Oh, I got an unsolicited offer from Carvana.
Oh.
Like 20,000.
20,000, huh?
Yeah. I was like, I can get a new Corolla for more. Let me look at another one of these the minute I got some spare change.
Yeah. And that just showed up. Have you done business with Carvana in the past?
Never.
Okay.
Huh.
That's interesting.
But then I went and looked at the prices for Cybertrucks. I was like, oh, maybe this will be the way I do it when and if I find the funds and the couch cushions to do a Cybertruck. Also, I got an unsolicited email from Tesla. They're like, hey, if you don't hurry up and buy this GD angle truck, we're going to charge you $1,000 more because your reservation on FSD will be null and void on the 15th of June. And I wasn't the only one to get that email.
Right. Yeah. So FSD was 7,000 when you reserved it, and it's 8,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to honor that price if you order soon.
By the 15th of June.
By the 15th of June. Okay. Yeah.
And then my reading the tea leaves says that we might see it go to 9 if they have enough take rate and stuff. Just to rub it in, like, I told you to hurry up, and now you got to pay 2,000 more. Because we said current price.
Yeah,
that is likely. It could happen.
Done it before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good point. We've got a summer meetup coming in Michigan, in Muskegon, Michigan, which is happening June 20th and 21st. And that is going to be the Tesla Summer Meetup, hosted by, of course, the Michigan Owners Club, as well as others. And our own Brian from Futuraza is going to be hosting the event, the Master of Ceremonies. And I'm sure he'll have some great one-liners too. So if you give the guy the mic, look out, because it's going to happen. I guarantee it. But check that out if you have interest, if you're in the area, and get your tickets advanced and pay a smaller price if you can book your ticket between now and the next couple weeks before the event happening in Muskegon on June 20th and 21st. So hope to see you there. Casey, let's go for shout outs and see what you got for us.
Yeah, so on Friday and Monday, catch us right here, same time, same place, or the Tesla Life Express, editions 1 and 2. On Sunday, about 1:20 Eastern PM. Catch me over at youtube.com/Casey Green or x.com/gcustom. And then why 1:20? Well, every time I try to start right on time, one of these munchkins or a piece of technology or a service, say you're not going to do that. So I'm going to still shoot for 1:10. And so some days I'll be early, and other days I'll probably still be late. But at least it's 1:20 now instead of 1:10.
Very good. Very good. Patrick, what do you got for us?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net about my future free from fossil fuels. And I have an article that just went up today And
Today?
it's very relevant. Yeah. And I was going to publish it on Sunday, but I'm like, hey, we've got the Tesla Life. I should put it up there so I can talk about it.
Exactly.
It's very appropriate for this discussion we just had. We have the Robotaxi launch coming up next month, and it's some of my thoughts about that. People are inherently horrible drivers, distracted and drink and drive and other problems. And if we can get to a future where we just have cars that drive themselves and they've got 8-10 cameras looking around all the time, unblinking, undistracted, it's going to be a much better result for all of us. So yeah, check it out, carswithquarters.net.
Will do. Sounds good. And we thank Lee Moon for the music that we use every week. Thank you so much, Lee. Appreciate that. And with that, we'll say good night. And together, we'll find out what's happening in the Tesla Life next time.
Stay positive, test negative. Thank you, Lee Moon.
Confetti,
Yeah.
Mr. Green.